right? On my free-to-play account, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to summon for Dea's weapon, okay? On my free-to-play account, I will do that, okay? I'm going to skip the Shenhe Ayaka nonsense because I already got Shenhe and I don't want Ayaka, right? But I'm gonna summon directly for the Sino slash Dea weapon. I'm gonna go for that. That sounds like an amazing banner. Like, I only got 1,400 primos right now, right? We're a little bit of a bind currently as far as primos go, but I'm gonna throw everything at it. If it has good 4 stars, okay? If the 4 stars are good, I'm gonna throw everything at it, okay? I'm gonna throw every last primo I got at that, and hopefully, I will acquire a Sino weapon or a Dea weapon, okay? I don't care if I get Dea on free to play. I care if I get the better weapons. Now here's why, okay? I encourage you guys to think about this, okay? Sino's weapon is the best in-slot weapon for Zhangling. Guaranteed. It is a significant improvement to the catch. Okay? It's significant improvement. Not a small improvement, a significant improvement. It would be, if you were quantifying it as far as how we quantify upgrades, it is quantified as a must summon. Okay? It is a very strong upgrade for Zhangling. Okay? Must summons are quantified at 20% or more upgrade, right? That's how good it is, okay? Now, think about this way, right? This is the best way to think about it, okay? Your current Zhangling, right? Let's just say it has 50% crit rate, hits for like 50k procs on, or 60k procs or whatever, and it constantly vapes 50% of the time at high damage, right?
Is it better than R5 Wave Breaker?
Let me finish talking! Fuck, bro! Okay? Yeah, I will finish talking, okay, Splack? I will finish talking, okay? Okay. Currently, when you crit right now on a catch or a wave breaker or a homa or whatever, it's like 50% of the time you're critting for like 50, 60, 70k, right? Whatever your crit value is, whatever, right? But you're hitting for like 50% of that. Now, the exact same build with the exact same ER with the new weapon will now crit at 90% for the same value of crit with the same ER. Okay? What are your thoughts on being able to crit for the exact same amount of damage that you currently do, but doubling your crit rate? Oh, ads? Oh, did you guys get ads? Oh. Did they get ads? You should subscribe with Twitch Prime. Oh, poor baby. Did you get an ad in the middle of my explanation? Sounds like not subscribing with Twitch Prime. Support the streamer if you want the explanation, yeah? All right, anyways, jokes aside, okay. Jokes aside, if you want to crit at double the rate for the same amount of damage,
we meet again.
You should get the weapon for Zhangling, okay? Because it is that strong, okay? I've done it, I've used it, I've showcased it many a time. It is great. What it allows for, which is really cool, it allows for an EM Sans Zhangling to work. You can run Elemental Mastery Sans on your emblem build. And when you're running just an EM Sans, and that's the only EM you have, or you run an ER Sans with lots of EM mixed into your build, it allows you to get more EM rolls. And EM rolls will actually be almost higher value than crit damage. Almost, not high, not always, but almost, okay? And now it caps at a certain value, obviously, but like EM value rolls are very high value because now EM already, if you vaporize, right, will be similar value to crit damage. Similar, not the same, but similar. But now that same amount of EM transfers to attack to get even greater value. So now it makes EM very, very, very high value for Zhangling and almost as high value as crit damage. So when you get those pieces, right, that are crit rate, crit damage, elemental mastery, and energy recharge, and it rolls a little bit on EM, a little bit on energy recharge, and a little bit on crit, those are high value pieces for a character like Zhang Ling on an emblem build, right? It is a very high value weapon and a very high value artifact gain. Okay, it is very cool. Okay, now the math shows now no matter what, that crit damage will most likely be better per point, right? But not by much. Okay, and that's the interesting part, right? When you're building for artifacts, the most interesting thing to look at is when you're looking at an EM stat gain, since the EM now has a stat to stat transfer for vaporize, okay, which will now incorporate for the stacks, right? As long as you're using the rotation correctly, on the second rotation for Zhang Ling, her damage will be drastically improved, okay? Because that EM will be in transfer to attack. But the best part about it, even before that they're already dead because you've crit every single vaporize. Okay? Now, getting a build like that is actually really, really cool. Okay? So the EM transfer for Staff of Scarlet's Hands is part of the reason it's good. The main reason it's good is because it's a 44 crit weapon. The reason you can use the Staff of Homa at all is because it has a 66 crit damage. Now, one of the biggest parts about Zhang Ling is that Zhang Ling needs attack and needs to snapshot in the attack. And one of the reasons people use Dragon's Bane is because it has high amounts of EM and the attack doesn't matter as much because you're snapshotting a Bennett buff. Okay? The catch works really well because a lot of people don't have sufficient ER in their builds and it helps with a little bit of their crit ratio. What if you could fix your crit damage problem, right? Not having sufficient crit damage by using an elemental mastery weapon sands and fixing your crit issue on emblem and transferring your ER sands or whatever and getting more ER rolls and more net positive rolls in your Zhang Ling. Okay, instead of going for a build that's completely raw crit damage, what if you have artifacts like this where you have crit rate with lots of EM, or you have other builds where you have like crit damage on it with EM on it and stuff like that, and you have EM passive rolls on your build? Well, on other builds, right, this EM is good, right, but it's not that good. Now, if you can make it even better, that's great. And that will actually increase the likelihood of you getting these artifacts, right? I know a lot of people out there were not able to obtain perfect artifacts for Zhang Ling, but they have a lot of crit chance, crit damage EM artifacts. And a lot of people's accounts that I've been on have these artifacts. And the reason they have them is because they gave the other stuff to Yelan that had ER and gave all the other stuff to other characters, right? Now, it's really hard to get to like 220, 230 ER with that build with more EM, right? It's really hard to hit those values, right? So in order to hit high amounts of EM and ER, you have to lower your crit damage. But what if your crit damage was like 140 or 150, right? And your crit rate was already like 50%. Now, if you double your crit rate and you're at 150 crit damage with 180 ER, right? With Raiden National, 100% crit rate is very, very strong. 100% crit rate Zhang Ling sounds like 50% more damage, right? Give or take. Right? Maybe more, depending on your crit damage. Maybe. Thoughts? Hey, Seka! I mean, that's pretty good. You're doing the same amount. You would normally say that 85 is the Masio? You want to go for 85%. Hey, Seka! The thing with Staff of Scarlet Sand Zhang Ling is getting all the stacks on the first rotation is impossible. Okay? Okay, getting all the stacks on the first rotation is impossible for Staff of Scarlet Sand for Zhang Ling. Okay? Unless you're just waiting for a little bit of extra time and auto-attacking for like 2 Guoba ticks, right? But on the second rotation, you'll already have it up because the duration's quite long. Okay, it doesn't work off field too. It doesn't proc off field too, so you have to use it only on field. Okay, so just know that's a thing. What account did I need to get on real quick? Oh yeah, the whale account. I'm gonna go AFK a boss real quick. We're talking in the background. Worth a second one? I don't know if I would get a second one. I would only get one. I would only get one, okay? So the other weapon on that banner, right, will be Dea's weapon, right? They haven't released information on